Canadian township. It's a subarctic township, and is now ferrying out those 211 odd passengers on the Air India Boeing 777, which made a landing in Iqaluit yesterday because of this hoax bomb scare. This is to do with the fact that the town itself is extremely remote. It's absolutely tiny. There are virtually no hotel rooms, and the conditions in the airport, which is very small, are very, very basic. And therefore, it was taking a lot of time for Air India to get that security clearance done of all the luggage on board the aircraft. Number one. Number two, the crew on board the aircraft also faced what are known as flight duty time limitations. In other words, you cannot operate a flight if you've been active for a certain number of hours. So they were not in a position to really fly. So what's happening now is that the Canadian government did step in with assistance. They've flown in an aircraft over there. That aircraft has just taken off, will carry these passengers to Chicago, which was their ultimate destination, and ultimately their luggage will follow.
Well, let's switch tracks now. In the murder of former Maharashtra Minister Baba Siddique, the Mumbai court has sent the fourth accused to police custody till the 21st of October. The court had earlier remanded two other accused, Gurmail Bajit Singh and Dharmaraj Rajesh Kashyap, to crime branch custody until the 21st of this month. Both are accused of gunning down Baba Siddique. A third suspect, Praveen Lonkar, was also sent to custody for his alleged involvement with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. In fact, police said that the suspects had been conducting surveillance on Baba Siddique for weeks before the killing. One of the suspects that the Mumbai police are looking for in the sensational murder in Mumbai's Bandra last week had also been questioned after the firing outside the residence of actor Salman Khan. This is back in April, but was let off because of lack of evidence. My colleague Anuj Raithe is tracking all the latest developments for us. He joins us over the phone line at the moment. Anuj, lots to unpack here. We've got on camera Dharmaraj apprehended by Mumbai cops. The cops have now established a link to the Salman Khan house firing case. The cops have also recovered a bag with a gun near the crime scene.
Well, yes, the link established between the Salman Khan firing case and the tragic incident that happened 3 days ago is probably one of the most important developments of this entire case. It puts Shubham Lonkar, the man who was behind the account which posted the Facebook message which claimed the responsibility for this action and said that it was revenge to what had happened to Anuj Thapan, comes in the light of police looking at different angles. In the beginning, the police were trying to look at all the other angles, be it political rivalry, be it land dispute, or even family issues. But now they're almost certain that the link is very clear as far as the Lawrence Bishnoi angle is concerned. And this has led to several different new developments as well. Besides increasing or enhancing the security at Salman Khan's house, who was already been enjoying wider security since an attack on his house in the month of April, the police have also now tried to try to narrow down their investigation as far as certain geographical parts of the country is concerned. They've sent their teams not just across the state but also towards the northern part of the country. Now they're actively trying to interrogate and trying to talk to several other people as well, who are in any way remotely also related to this particular case. The police are also very acutely looking at the path to which these weapons would have made its way through. We saw that the 4 people who were involved into this on that very spot who were living in Kurla, and then there were several mediators who were providing them with resources, who were providing them with guns and money and all of those things. But while the police have made 4 arrests, at the moment 3 important people are still absconding, and Shubham Lonkar is a name that stands out because Shubham Lonkar was interrogated by the police when the firing happened at Salman Khan's house in April, but he was let go off on the basis of lack of evidence. So there is a suspicion that after leaving or after getting off the police interrogation, he would have hatched this plan with other members of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. But it is also an important part when you talk about the intelligence of the Mumbai police. Mumbai police who were known to have a very efficient system of khabris who were spread across the different parts of the city. And the fact that there were these 3 young boys who were doing recce at such an important place outside the office of an MLA, and the khabri system, the dip in the khabri system shows how this never really made it to the police. This information, as far as this information is concerned. But then, when you look at what has happened at Salman's case, there were also threats given to AP Dillon, who had collaborated with Salman Khan for a music video which he did for free. So the pattern is very clear at the moment. Whosoever is trying to give any sort of emotional, financial, or any other support to Salman Khan is on the target list of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang.
As always, Anuj, thanks so much for taking us through the latest details. In other news, Chhattisgarh's Bastar celebrates Dussehra. Here's a sneak peek into the magic of the world's longest festival, which is celebrated over 75 days.
The magic of the world's longest festival in the heart of India, Chhattisgarh's Bastar. The Bastar Dussehra, a 75-day-long festival, is a celebration like no other. "75 days of rituals, dances and devotion, showcasing the rich cultural heritage of the region." The festival dates back to the reign of the 13th century king Purushottam Dev. Unlike other Dussehra celebrations, it doesn't commemorate Lord Ram's victory over Ravan. Instead, it honors the local deity, goddess Danteshwari Devi. The Bastar Dussehra is organized by the royal family of Bastar.
बस्तर दशहरा सबसे पुराना परंपरा है जो कि 1400 शताब्दी से चले आ रही है। आज दिन तक 600 साल पुरानी ये परंपरा है। हर दिन का एक महत्व है और ये परंपरा सदियों से चली आ रही है। और एक माटी पुजारी भी। बस्तर रियासत ही ऐसी रियासत है जिसमें कि महाराजा को एक रथ के उपाधि मिली गई। किसी देश में ऐसा नहीं हुआ और यहाँ पे रावण दहन नहीं होता।
People from different tribal backgrounds don colorful traditional attire and fill the streets with energy, dance and folk music. A massive two-tiered chariot is crafted by skilled carpenters and pulled through the streets by up to 400 individuals.
Jagdalpur, a small city in Chhattisgarh where a 75 days long Dussehra is being celebrated. Locals, the tribals, everybody is participating here in this whole celebration. These visuals, you can clearly see the people, the tribals of Bastar performing the ritualistic dance that is done here. They are carrying a palki over their shoulder. In this palki, they say that the goddess of Bastar, stay in this palki, and that is why they are revolving it all around the place.
मैं ये देवी के साथ घूमता हूँ। ये मंडवी परिवार का देवी है। ये पूर्वज से चलते आ रहा है। हम लोग का दादा परदादा लोग जो लाए यहाँ से, उस दिन से हम इस देवी को यहाँ लाते हैं।
कितने सालों से आप इस पूजा में भाग ले रहे हो?
मैं हो गया 20 साल हो गया।
20 साल हो गए।
बहुत अच्छा लगता है। ऐतिहासिक पर्व है यहाँ बस्तर का। विश्व प्रसिद्ध है दशहरा और बहुत ज़्यादा लोकप्रिय है। लोगों में राजा के प्रति सम्मान बहुत ज़बरदस्त है यहाँ पे।
The streets of Jagdalpur, Bastar's district headquarters, come alive with energy and excitement during the festival.
The king will do a puja and bring an end to this whole procession, and after today the new year will start for the people who are living in Bastar. With camera person Sachin, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
And climate change is taking on monstrous proportions, and India is impacted heavily. But how does India monitor the flux of greenhouse gases? That's a big question. And NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla travelled all the way to Mount Saraswati, situated at 4,500 meters altitude in the Himalayas, where Indian scientists are accurately monitoring the steady increase of atmospheric gases that cause global warming. Here's his ground report from Hanle in Ladakh.
This is the high altitude cold desert of Ladakh. The air here is considered pristine. Very little air pollution, and India uses this location to monitor greenhouse gases. Climate change is a big problem, and India is monitoring how greenhouse gas emissions are changing over India. What you see behind me is a weather station, but there is a similar greenhouse gas emissions monitoring station situated right here at Mount Saraswati in Hanle in Ladakh. Indian scientists from the 4th Paradigm Institute of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research tell me that they're observing an increase in the amount of greenhouse gases at this high altitude location. India has been urging the world to control climate change, as India is going to be highly affected. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a call to become net zero by 2070. But to do all of that, you need solid, good science behind it. And Indian scientists monitoring greenhouse gases at this 4,500 meter altitude above the sea level at Mount Saraswati. This offers very low air pollution environment and a place where greenhouse gases can be measured effectively. At Hanle, Ladakh, with camera person Rohit Vishkarma, Palav Bagla for NDTV.
Meanwhile, it's been a windfall for women's hockey players. The first Hockey India Players auction for women was conducted in Delhi, and 4 franchises gathered 96 players. My colleague Rika Roy had the chance to speak to Rani Rampal and get you the lowdown. Listen in.
Rani, thank you very much for talking to us and many congratulations for this moment. आपने शायद बड़े अरसों से इस मोमेंट की इंतज़ार की थी.
बिल्कुल, हम बहुत सालों से सोचते थे कि कभी विमेंस लीग होगी क्या इंडिया में, क्योंकि हम हमेशा मेंस लीग ही देखते थे. बट आई थिंक हॉकी इंडिया का बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है कि विमेंस लीग को भी इंक्लूड किया. आई नो इस साल 4 टीम है, होपफुली नेक्स्ट सीज़न में जो और ज़्यादा टीम्स जुड़ेंगी, फ्रेंचाइज जुड़ेंगी. बट एक स्टार्ट होना बहुत ज़रूरी था, क्योंकि एक स्टार्ट हुआ तो बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स को इस लीग में खेलने का मौका मिलेगा, जिनको अपना टैलेंट शोकास करने का मौका मिलेगा.
32 लाख जो उदिता को मिला है, उसके बारे में आपका क्या कमेंट है? वन प्लेयर, वन वुमेन्स हॉकी प्लेयर गेटिंग सोल्ड फॉर 32 लाख रुपीज़, इजंट दैट, वुडंट यू थिंक दैट्स अ मैजिकल फिगर?
या बिल्कुल, बिकॉज इससे पहले कभी वुमेंस हॉकी में इतना पैसा था नहीं. लीग अभी शुरू हुई है, सो अगर किसी विमेंस प्लेयर को 32 लाख मिल रहा है, सो इट्स अ गुड मनी. आई नो स्टिल बजट बहुत अभी भी कम है, लेकिन एक स्टार्ट के लिए ठीक है, एक स्टार्ट होना ना, क्योंकि जैसे जैसे ये लीग इस बार लोग देखेंगे, प्लेयर्स खेलेंगे, सो डेफिनेटली और भी फ्रेंचाइज जुड़ेंगी एंड होपफुली उसका नेक्स्ट ईयर जो बजट है वो भी इंक्रीज़ हो. बट आई एम सो हैप्पी फॉर द प्लेयर्स कि विमेंस प्लेयर्स आर गेटिंग मनी. जो बहुत सालों से हम सोचते थे कि विमेंस प्लेयर्स को भी एक फाइनेंशियल जो है वो हेल्प होनी चाहिए.
आपने पूरी तरह से तो हॉकी नहीं छोड़ा है. व्हाई डिडंट यू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द ऑक्शन? आपने क्यों ऑक्शन में हिस्सा नहीं लिया?
हॉकी इज़ माई पैशन, सो मुझे लगता है मुझे जो भी रोल करने के लिए मिलेगा हॉकी में, आई एम ऑलवेज रेडी टू डू इट. सो मुझे जब सुरमा हॉकी क्लब की तरफ से ये कॉल आई कि आप हमारे मेंटर बनोगे, तो मैंने बोला वाई नॉट, बिकॉज देर आर सो मैनी यंगस्टर, बहुत छोटी लड़कियां हैं जिनको मैं हेल्प कर सकती हूँ अपने एक्सपीरियंस से, अपनी नॉलेज से. सो आई थिंक फॉर मी इट्स नाउ लाइक कि कैसे हम किसी ना किसी वे में हम यंगस्टर्स को हेल्प कर सकते हैं.
रानी, आपका बहुत लंबा समय का एक्सपीरियंस है. क्या खास एक्सपीरियंस जो आपने फील्ड में एक्वायर किया है, आप दूसरे लड़की जो छोटे लड़कियां हैं उनको बताना चाहते हो? बिकॉज हॉकी वी डोंट जस्ट लुक एट इट एज अ स्पोर्ट बट एज अ सोशल चेंज. तो क्या कुछ वो चीज़ें आप बताना चाहोगे?
मैं सबको यही बोलती हूँ हमेशा ना कि बीइंग अ फीमेल ना, अगर मैं कर सकती हूँ वो, तो मुझे लगता है कोई भी लड़की कर सकती है. उसके लिए सिर्फ आपको एक जज्बा चाहिए, जुनून चाहिए. बहुत सारे आपकी जर्नी में लोग रहते हैं जो आपको हेल्प करते हैं हॉकी सिखाने के लिए, आपको पर्सनली ग्रूम करने के लिए, आपके पेरेंट्स, फैमिली, एवरीथिंग, बट आपको अपने लिए खुद फाइट करनी पड़ती है हमेशा ना। सो मेरा उनको यही मैसेज है कि जब भी आप फील्ड पे हो ना, सो जस्ट फाइट फॉर एवरी सेकंड, क्योंकि एंड कभी भी चीज़ों को ग्रांटेड नहीं लेना चाहिए लाइफ में, विच मैंने अपने लिए भी हमेशा वही इम्प्लीमेंट किया कि नेवर टेक थिंग्स ग्रांटेड, एंड जो भी आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है उसके लिए हमेशा जस्ट वर्क हार्ड एंड गिव योर 100% एवरी।
रानी, एक आखिरी सवाल, ये हॉकी लीग से पहले हमने देखा है, जो डेमोग्राफिक्स देखा है, बिहार, उड़ीसा, हरियाणा और कुछ छत्तीसगढ़, महाराष्ट्र से लड़कियां ज़्यादातर हॉकी महिलाओं के हॉकी यहाँ पे कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड थे। आपको लगता है दिस लीग कैन रियली contribute towards the spread of hockey in far corners of the country?
या बिल्कुल, क्योंकि जब ये लीग अभी चलेगी एंड यू नो हर स्टेट में लीग देखने को मिलेगी, बच्चों को, जो यंग लड़कियां उनको देखने की मिलेंगी, डेफिनेटली वो इंस्पायर होंगी, क्योंकि हम सबके कुछ आइडल्स रहते हैं, यू नो, जो यंग लड़कियां उनके भी इंडियन टीम में कुछ आइडल्स होंगे कि मैं इसको देखना चाहती हूँ, एंड व्हेन दे सी ना, दे गेट इंस्पायर कि मुझे भी हॉकी खेलनी है, मुझे भी हॉकी खेलनी है। सो डेफिनेटली आप देखोगे कि पहले नॉर्थ ईस्ट से कभी कोई प्लेयर हॉकी में देखने को नहीं मिलता था, बट अभी आप देखोगे सीनियर एंड जूनियर प्रोग्राम में काफ़ी सारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट से भी प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं। सो धीरे धीरे हॉकी स्प्रेड हो रही है ऑल ओवर द इंडिया, बट अगेन आई थिंक थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा, बट ये लीग बहुत हेल्प करेगी यंग लड़कियों के लिए।
Well, switching tracks, let's get you fresh visuals coming in from the neighborhood at the moment. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has welcomed our External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at the venue of the SCO summit in Islamabad. These visuals are coming in from Pakistan at the moment. The External Affairs Minister has touched down in the neighborhood to participate in the 23rd meeting of the SCO Council of Heads of Government. In fact, you know, even after his arrival, Dr. Jaishankar's first port of call was at Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's residence to attend an informal dinner which was for the participants of today's SCO Council of Heads of Government meet. I must also inform you that India and Pakistan have not held bilateral talks at a ministerial level since the year 2015, December 2015 to be precise, during former External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's visit to Islamabad, which was actually the last such visit. Well, details of the SCO meet continue after this very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India. bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best.
Well, a big focus, the external affairs minister's touchdown in Pakistan. Well, after his arrival, Dr. Jaishankar's first port of call was at Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's residence to attend an informal dinner for the participants of today's SCO Council of Heads of Government meet. Now, the main event of the SCO meeting is scheduled for today, where leaders will discuss enhancing security cooperation and strengthening economic ties among member nations. But among the notable attendees at the SCO summit are China's Premier, Russia's Prime Minister, Iran's First Vice President and the Prime Ministers of Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and Mongolia. But as discussions unfold, the focus will be on not only addressing regional security challenges, but also fostering economic partnerships that can benefit member states amidst ongoing geopolitical tensions. Dr. Jaishankar's visit has not raised expectations of any breakthrough though, but some in the neighborhood argue that this SCO meet does at least allow both India and Pakistan to have a chance for contact, which is rare in these strained times. Well, for further clarity, we have with us at the moment, joining us live currently, Jitendra Nath Mishra, former ambassador and professor at OP Jindal Global University. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us. Now, while Pakistan has welcomed Dr. Jaishankar as a good host, neither side has sought a bilateral meeting. But sir, what do you have to say about this adaptability to minimal engagement, where both sides participate in multilateral fora and exchange perspectives, but actually maintain almost zero bilateral contact?
Well, thank you very much for the invitation for the show. The first thing to note is that Minister Jaishankar, a few months ago, I think, made a very important statement that was not properly analyzed in the media. He said that we are ready to respond to moves made by Pakistan, whether positive or negative. And he's made a statement, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, that there will be no talks with terror. Without terror, no talks can take place. So the bottom lines are very clear. The formal position of India remains as it is, but he's opened the door just a little bit that if there are positive moves, we will respond to them. So therefore, a multilateral meeting, as always in diplomacy, gives you some kind of an escape route to shift slightly from your formal position and to start some kind of a conversation, even a handshake and a meal together, and that's how doors are opened.
Right.
So I don't read more than that into this. Pakistan has more incentive at this point of time to talk to India. Remember, it's 1/10 the size of the Indian economy, and the differential in power is increasing. And therefore, Pakistan and India cannot be in a state of equivalence, which is what Pakistani fantasists have been talking about for 76 years after independence. We are strategically the equal of India. However, they also have nuclear capability, which also is an equalizer. So considering all these factors, perhaps India wants to calm things down. Remember, we are having some kind of a renewal of interest in some kind of a proper dialogue at the political level with China also. And we want to become Viksit Bharat. In 2047, we want to achieve great things in our economy. So if you want to do that, you have to pacify your neighborhood. So therefore, I think it's a very smart move. But what will happen, we don't know. But my suspicion is, I suspect that there will be some kind of a conversation. Some kind of a conversation has always been going on, whether overtly or back channel.
Right, sir. But at the current moment then, do you agree that Pakistan's domestic political turmoil and uncertainty mean that it's not just a question of whether the SCO meeting is an appropriate forum to build bridges, but also of who to build those bridges with? And can this touchdown of Dr. Jaishankar's be the first step in a long road to actually better ties between India and Pakistan then?
Yes, it can, provided that the military in Pakistan also comes on board. I think you are referring to the turmoil and the power centers. Yes, and I think it looks like to me that, remember that the manner in which the present government in Pakistan came into power had the blessings of the military, which is the real establishment, so to say, in Pakistan. So the military plays a very important role in strategic matters and in foreign policy. So I think that is there, that level of support is there. Of course, the military will not talk about it openly. They will make it appear as if it's a civilian leadership that is taking the initiative. But nothing happens without they being consulted. But that doesn't mean that it's strategic. It could be just tactical, because as you said, when Pakistan is going through so much of domestic turmoil and so many problems with Afghanistan, which I had predicted long ago, that Taliban, just because the Taliban comes to power, doesn't mean that the differences will go away over the border, for example, the border disputes. So they also want to pacify the Eastern Front. They have also an interest in doing that because they have to recover economically.
Well, pleasure to hear your perspective, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. In other crucial news, India has signed a deal with the United States for the procurement of 31 Predator MQ-9B high-altitude, long-endurance UAV manufactured by General Atomics. But this development comes less than a month after Prime Minister Modi and US President Joe Biden held talks about the acquisition of the drones on the sidelines of the Quad Leaders Summit held in Delaware. Our two countries had signed a deal worth 32,000 crore rupees for the acquisition of 31 Predator drones, along with the establishment of a maintenance, repair and overhaul facility in India. Now, this deal will enhance the surveillance capabilities of the Indian Armed Forces. But what exactly are the features of the MQ-9B drones and the significance? Here's our report.
The MQ-9B Sea Guardian, the most advanced maritime reconnaissance drone in the world, capable of flying up to 40 hours non-stop while potentially tracking Chinese and Pakistani warships, pirates out at sea, or any naval threat. The Navy will get 15 Sea Guardians, while the Army and Air Force will get 8 Sky Guardian drones each, meant to keep an eye out along the Himalayan frontier. The total value of the deal is 32,000 crore rupees, and the first drones will start entering service in about 4 years.
The MQ-9B is the world's best military unmanned capability for doing that. So with a very high endurance as well as a very high altitude at which it can operate, equipped with long-range radars for detecting and targeting ships at sea or military equipment on land. They're equipped with long-range SIGINT and ELINT sensors, large aperture video sensors, etc., with long-range and short-range potential of carrying weapons.
The Sea and Sky Guardian drones, which will also be maintained, repaired and overhauled in India as part of the deal, will be a huge boost for India's armed forces. These come at a time when China, the world's largest drone manufacturer, has deployed a host of new drones in Tibet, all directed at India, as these satellite images broadcast on NDTV show. The drones can also be armed with short-range missiles, though the primary role will remain persistent intelligence-seeking missions, when imagery, day and night, and through a host of other sensors, can be shared across platforms on a real-time basis. This will enable the Navy, Air Force and Army to react instantly to threats over land and out at sea when they emerge. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Well, in other news, the United States has given Israel 30 days to boost aid to Gaza or risk some military aid cuts. The United States has warned Israel it has 30 days to increase access for humanitarian aid into Gaza or risk a reduction in some military aid. It comes as food aid was delivered into northern Gaza for the first time in 2 weeks, with the UN describing the situation as desperate. But you must note that the United States has also said that components for an advanced anti-missile system have begun arriving in Israel, with the Pentagon saying the system is intended to help Israel defend itself and will be operational in the near future. We have a reaction from the US State Department for you. Listen in.
What we have seen over the past few months is that the level of humanitarian assistance has not been sustained. In fact, it has fallen by over 50% from where it was at its peak. So the Secretary, along with Secretary Austin, thought it was appropriate to make clear to the government of Israel that there are changes that they need to make again to see that the level of assistance making it into Gaza comes back up from the very, very low levels that it is at today.
Meanwhile, Israel has assured the Biden administration that a planned retaliatory attack on Iran will not target nuclear and oil facilities, according to US officials, a promise sought by the White House to head off further Middle East escalation and to avoid a potential oil price increase. The pledges came in a call between President Biden and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week, as well as in conversations in recent days between Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and his Israeli counterpart Yoav Gallant. In other news, Russia is reportedly assembling a battalion of North Korean nationals to help push Ukraine's forces out of Kursk. As reported by Ukrainian outlet Liga, citing a source in Ukrainian military intelligence, Moscow will staff its newest outfit with troops sent over by Kim Jong-un. The troops may subsequently be involved in combat missions in the country's southwestern regions, as per reports. Well, to the UK now, an undercover police officer has admitted that he spied on UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer while he was a radical barrister. This is what a public inquiry has heard. The police spy has said that he accessed confidential details of the legal advice that Keir Starmer was giving to two environmentalist campaigners in the well-known McLibel case in the early 90s, and the contents of the advice were then relayed by the spy to his managers in a covert Scotland Yard unit, the inquiry was told. The public inquiry is examining how police deployed about 139 undercover officers to spy on more than 1,000 political groups. This is between the years 1968 and at least 2010. Well, we're slipping into a very short break, but we're back in a moment with much more. Do stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Civil Aviation Minister briefed by officials in regard to the hoax calls that the airliners have been receiving. Over 10 flights have been grounded in the last 48 hours, and the minister briefed ahead of a parliamentary panel meeting which is going to take place with the airliners, and this is in regard to the hoax calls that has caused a lot of inconvenience to the passengers and the airlines. Omar Abdullah is set to take oath as the first Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir since it became a union territory. This is going to take place in half an hour from now at 11:30 in Srinagar. And Mallikarjun Kharge as well as Rahul Gandhi along with Priyanka Gandhi, Supriya Sule and Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party will all be present at that swearing ceremony. And the Maharashtra Dangal, a day of key meetings and Mahayuti big guns to meet Amit Shah, while a key Congress meeting is scheduled for today as well. And a sneak peek into the longest festival. We're talking about 75-day long celebration of Dussehra in Chhattisgarh's Bastar that's taking place. NDTV gets you a ground report.
A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vatwa. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including multiple threats to Indian airliners, which has caused this meeting with the Civil Aviation Minister, who has been briefed by officials. We're talking about Ram Mohan Naidu, who held that high-level meeting. This meeting taking place just ahead of the parliamentary panel meeting, which is coming up later today. This is in regard to the hoax call menace that is being faced by the airliners and the passengers. In the last 48 hours, 10 flights have been impacted, 10 flights have been grounded, and there's been big implications as far as airlines are concerned due to these threatening messages that they're receiving online. We have my colleague Aishwarya joining us to get us more on this. Aishwarya, parliamentary panel meeting amidst these threats that the airliners are getting with these hoax calls, that are being put up on, online services, and that has impacted so many Indian airlines. One, especially this airline that had to be diverted to Canada, which is heading towards Chicago. Indian Airlines, which was meant to arrive in Chicago, and the Canadian ministry stepping in there in order to help out.
Well, the Civil Aviation Ministry has jumped into action, and since morning there are several meetings that have taken place. To put into context, Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu had called a meeting at 9:30 a.m. with the DGCA officials and the Civil Aviation Ministry officials just before the first meeting of the Standing Committee of Parliament for Transport, Tourism and Culture, in which the agenda is very clear. This is the first meeting inside the Parliament. The members have been called in, to which Ram Mohan Naidu is not a part of it, but the agenda is to hear from the Secretary of the Civil Aviation Ministry regarding the working of the Civil Aviation Ministry. Now, he will be definitely asked by the members of this committee about the recent threat calls that had been received by different airline carriers and what action the DGCA has taken into it. Regarding that, the Civil Aviation Minister was briefed today by the Joint Secretary as well as the DGCA and Civil Aviation Ministry officials as well as to what reply they are going to give inside the Parliament regarding this and what steps they have taken. Shortly after that, of course, we all know that there is a cabinet meeting happening at 7 LKM. So Ram Mohan Naidu, being a part of it, had left for it. But the Joint Secretary and the Secretary will be present inside the Parliament where we are reporting from, and he will be giving a detailed reply to the members of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Transport regarding the recent hoax calls. Of course, the DGCA and the Civil Aviation Ministry sources have told us that they had prepared a detailed reply in which they have stated those carriers who have received such hoax calls had given only clearance after they had screened the passengers, and the clearance had been given by the local agencies and the people who had been given a chance to investigate into it. And later these airline carriers had given clearance to fly. But how they will be stopped from where these threat calls are being received is a part of investigation which is currently going on, and all of this will be briefed today inside the Parliament to the Parliament Standing Committee. On the other side, we are also getting information that Civil Aviation Minister had called another meeting in the afternoon with the airline carriers regarding the recent hoax calls, and they will be asked about what action they are taking, and a joint plan will be prepared to stop these threat calls which are being received recently by different airline carriers in different zones of the country.
Right. Thank you so much, Aishwarya. All eyes on that parliamentary panel meeting that's coming up amidst these threats to Indian airliners with hoax calls that have grounded several flights. We're talking about multiple flights that have been impacted in the last 48 hours alone. And an Air India flight, which was directed to Chicago from New Delhi, was diverted to Canada following a hoax bomb threat. And it is the Canada Air Force that has, in fact, stepped in and helped the people there. These are Indian, the Air India passengers, and we have my colleague Vishnu joining us. Vishnu, why are these Air India passengers being evacuated by the Canadian Air Force? Why has the Air India airlines not been able to help out these stranded passengers?
That's because there are flight duty limitations for Air India pilots. They cannot operate an aircraft if they've been active for a certain number of hours. That's number one. Number two, the place where they landed in Inuit is one of the most remote in all of Canada. It's a subarctic town. There are literally just a few dozen homes over there and an air base. They didn't have space in hotels, neither did they have facilities at the airport to account for 211 odd passengers who were on that Air India aircraft. So the Canadian government, their defense ministry, their emergency preparedness ministry, they came together. They flew across a CC-130, which is a military version of a commercial airliner, to that place. They got all the passengers on board, and they are now on their way to Chicago. Their luggage will follow soon, perhaps on that Air India flight when it does operate, because the luggage had to be kept aside for security clearance. In a small airport like this, that was not possible. So a huge inconvenience to those passengers and to airlines. The largest story here, of course, is that 10 airlines, all Indian airlines, right, have been impacted by these hoax bomb calls in 36 odd hours.
Right. Of course, also, Vishnu, when we talk about the timing of this comes at a time when the relationship between India and Canada has seen, its lowest in terms of, diplomats who have, in fact, been, sent back from both countries.
Yeah, that's right. The relationship between India and Canada has plummeted to a new low. This was done on humanitarian grounds, and given, the fairly critical situation which could have emerged if you had 211 odd passengers on the ground in a tiny airport with no facilities or minimal facilities over there. So the Canadian government also realized that they needed to have a role in moving these passengers out, which is why they've done that. So these passengers are now on their way to their original destination, Chicago. So this was done on humanitarian grounds. Air India has thanked local responders for reaching out.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishnu, for getting us all these details. And let's just get you the latest as far as the pollution situation is concerned. And the top court has slammed the air pollution panel. We're talking about the Supreme Court talking about the air quality panel being a toothless wonder, and that the officials, again, there'll be action taken against officials. And this is what the Supreme Court has said while reprimanding the government of Punjab and Haryana, giving them a deadline of a week. This is what the Supreme Court has gone ahead and said, that they will be giving a deadline of a 1 week notice to the government of Punjab and Haryana, and asking about why no action really has been taken against violators. So the top Haryana officials to appear in person. This comes after the centre on Tuesday assured that the Supreme Court that the members of the Commission for Air Quality Management in the NCR region and adjoining areas, including its chairperson, have sufficient experience in the field of air pollution and environmental issues. And we have Sunil Prabhu joining us. Sunil, just take us through the proceedings in court, with the Supreme Court coming down very heavily when it comes to Punjab and Haryana government, talking about action that will be taken against officials as well as violators.
That's right. As we speak, the proceedings are continuing, and the Supreme Court is coming down not only heavily on Haryana and Punjab, but also on the Centre for Air Quality Commission, Air Quality Management, very categorically saying it's a toothless wonder, and that there are no experts in terms of air pollution. It's only of retired bureaucrats, and really clearly giving 1 week to Punjab as well as Haryana to deal with the Haryana stubble burning. Has already summoned the Chief Secretary of Haryana to give a personal explanation of non-compliance of orders. And as we speak, they continue to grill the Advocate General of the Punjab government as well as the Secretary, and asking them why they have given a wrong statement and wanting very categorically, submissions to be made in writing to the central government for the use of those machines in the stubble burning. In terms of money and finances, that has not yet come. And it's in that backdrop that the Supreme Court three-judge bench is grilling and asking serious questions as Delhi's, the National Capital Region's air pollution goes from bad to worse.
Right, of course, the Supreme Court slamming the government of Punjab and Haryana and saying that orders are not being followed, which is why that deadline of a 1 week notice is being given to the government of Punjab and Haryana. Thank you so much, Sunil, for joining us with those details. Now let's just get you the very latest from Jammu and Kashmir, and it is in fact Omar Abdullah who will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir in a matter of minutes from now at 11:30 in Srinagar. But it is the Congress party which is unlikely to be part of the Omar Abdullah cabinet. From what we are hearing, the Congress has been demanding 3 cabinet berths. Only one berth has been offered, along with the possibility of a deputy speaker's position. The Chief Minister, who says they're in talks with the Congress party, who will be supporting the National Conference from the outside. This is the Congress party who is now saying, of course, we will have, Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, as well as Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, along with Akhilesh Yadav, all there in attendance as far as that swearing-in ceremony is concerned. But let's just listen in to how Omar Abdullah is reacting to the Congress, staying out of the cabinet formation today.
Not out of the cabinet. It's for the Congress to decide. We've been in discussions with them. So I will not be filling all 9 vacancies in the Council of Ministers. Some vacancies will be kept to be filled going ahead. As I said, we're in talks with the Congress. If all was not well, Kharge ji, Rahul and other senior leaders of the Congress would not be coming here. Jammu and Kashmir has gone through an extremely difficult time. People have enormous expectations, and our challenge is to live up to those expectations.
Or take oath as the first Chief Minister of the Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370.
I have some strange distinctions. I was the last Chief Minister to serve a full 6-year term. Now I'll be the first Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The last distinction, as in the one of serving 6 years, I'm quite happy about. Being a Chief Minister of a Union Territory is a different matter altogether. It has its own challenges, but I hope that the status of a Union Territory is a temporary one.
10 साल के बाद यहाँ पे लोगों की हुकूमत होगी। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जो है बहुत जल्दी स्टेट को रिस्टोर करेगी और पूरे जो महकमे हैं, ताकत है, वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को मिलेगी। तब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट जो है यहाँ के लोगों के मुश्किलात को दूर कर सकेगी तेज़ी से, और फिर से जम्मू कश्मीर जो है वो हिंदुस्तान का मुकुट है, ताज है, ताज चमकने लगेगा, उसकी हम उम्मीद करते हैं।
And to get more on this, we have my colleague Nazir joining us. Nazir, take us through, we are hearing that the Congress has declined the offer of that one ministerial berth in the incoming government. What's really brewing with the Congress party, and why is there such a delay as far as the decision is concerned in regard to that one ministerial candidate?
Well, the Congress has so far decided not to be part of the, they are supporting part of the government, but not to join the cabinet, because first they could not pick their right candidate because there are 6 MLAs and they could not choose who would be the ministerial candidate. So clearly they are not joining the government, though there would be no Congress minister in this government. 6 ministers, including Chief Minister, will take oath today. And it is a right mix of both the regions, Jammu and the Kashmir, and also right mix of the Hindu and the Muslim. Jammu and Kashmir has a 70% Muslim population and 28% Hindu population, and I can tell you there are 2 Hindu ministers and 4 Muslim ministers. There are 3 ministers from the valley, including Chief Minister, and 3 from the Jammu. One is what we hear, Omar Abdullah, then there's Javed Dar, who is an MLA from Rafiabad in North Kashmir. You have Sakina Yuttu, only minister, woman minister who will be in Omar Abdullah cabinet. Then there will be Surinder Chaudhary from Naushera Rajouri, who has defeated BJP President, State President Ravinder Raina. And then there would be a very interesting ex-army man, Satish Sharma, son of a former Congress leader who contested independent candidate from Cham in Jammu, who will be taking oath as a minister in Omar Abdullah government. And also Gujar tribal leader Javed Rana from Poonch Rajouri. So Poonch Rajouri, which had given a big mandate to National Conference, is also, because BJP tried a lot by giving reservation to the Pahadis, but that didn't work when it comes to winning seats. So that is the kind of thing. Let me, Minister of ruling party, let me talk to the opposition. Wahid Rahman Para, he has come to attend this swearing ceremony. Wahid, what are your first thoughts as Omar Abdullah is taking oath?
I think all of us, on behalf of PDP, want a stable government. And Jammu and Kashmir, there has been a void for 6 years now. Okay. And there's a lot of silence in Jammu and Kashmir. People actually want a people's representation. We want a stable government in state, and we will do everything to support that stable government in whatever capacity it is required.
But can you hear this the opposition party, PDP, saying they are mainly Wahidur Rahman Farah, we will support the government to be stable government and to deliver.
Yeah, definitely all of us want to help the government to deliver, and there are huge expectations from this government.
Okay.
So we expect Omar Sahab and his party, his government, to deliver on the promises that have been made in their manifesto.
Okay. So tomorrow, if they move the resolution, will you support that?
Definitely, whatever suits the interests of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir state, we will support all such resolutions, and we want them to deliver on their poll promise.
So Congress, we are hearing that may not be the part of the, there would be no Congress minister in the government, though they are part of, and importantly, top leadership of the Congress, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge they are attending this swearing ceremony, and National Conference Honorable clearly said, look, if there would have been a problem between the two parties, then they would not have come. So it would be in fact a united face of the India alliance as well on Omar Abdullah's swearing ceremony today. Wahid, there's one last question. We have this election after a gap of 10 years, then we have the first rather stable government which has the almost absolute majority. Your party has just 3 MLAs. You are also MLA from Pulwama. But expectations of the common man from the government and including your party.
I think the
which they should do the first.
Are to stop the process of dispossession. That was started 5 years before.
Okay.
And to begin with the process of reclaiming whatever we have lost, the orders that have been unilaterally passed,
okay,
the land rights, the large issue of 370, and
correct,
how to begin that process. We are all with this government to fight for restoration of special status of Jammu and Kashmir, and that's the core issue we want this government to deliver on, the main issue of which is about the restoration of 370 and statehood of Jammu and Kashmir.
So that is the opposition voice also. They say they will support it. Number one, stop the dispossession, because people were being thrown out, they were being removed from the land, state land and other lands. So that should stop. They are also saying that that bulldozer action which used to be here, removing people, is, what the officials used to say, encroachment, that should stop. And they say reclaim what we have lost, which are the lands and job rights, land rights, which has been the common. We have seen agenda of all the political parties in Jammu and Kashmir. But for now, while from now you will see Jammu and Kashmir will be having new government, first elected government in the Union Territory, and Omar Abdullah says he hopes that it will be now a temporary arrangement. Besides, I will tell you, this India alliance, NC had reportedly, National Conference had reportedly invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he has not been able to attend this ceremony today. But they are trying to make the start from the positive note. Omar Abdullah has clearly said, look, I want a positive and constructive relationship with the central government, not that one of the confrontation.
Right. Thank you so much, Nazir. All eyes on that swearing-in ceremony that is about to begin at 11:30, just 10 minutes to go. And to get more on this, we also have Nisha Chaudhary joining us, as well as Saeed Junaid Hashmi, senior journalist with us. Nisha Chaudhary, over to you first. When we talk about Omar Abdullah saying that all is well and that they are keeping the vacancies open as far as the Council of Ministers is concerned, what is this really indicative of with the Congress, extending its support only from the outside for now?
Are you asking me?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Omar Abdullah, who was a reluctant entrant into the assembly elections, you remember he had said that I don't want to be sitting in the ante-room of the LG, given the powers of the Union Territory. He is exuding what I would call, quiet confidence. It's not overstated in what he's saying, and yet there is optimism. And he has reached out in early hours after the results to the center as well as to the Raj Bhavan to repair the relationships that have been troubled. And the governor has again today said, as far as he's concerned, there's going to be no confrontation from his side. He said
Union Territory, which was a state. What is your...
देखिए, स्टेटहुड की अधिकार और स्टेट के पक्ष में हूँ मैं, क्योंकि आधी अधूरी लोकतंत्र है। अभी पूरे अधिकार कहाँ हैं?
जी।
जो अधिकार कहीं और बांध दिए गए उसके पक्ष में हम नहीं हैं।
तो आप आ रहे हैं और दूसरे इंडिया अलायंस के पार्टनर भी आ रहे हैं इस स्वेरिंग सेरेमनी में, तो व्हाट मैसेज आप क्या देना चाहते हैं?
इंडिया गठबंधन और मजबूत हो, स्ट्रेंथन हो, बीजेपी देश से हटे।
और यहाँ जो कश्मीर में, जम्मू कश्मीर में जो चैलेंज हैं यहाँ सरकार के यहाँ, क्योंकि 10 साल बाद पहले असेंबली इलेक्शन हुए, 6 साल तक प्रेसिडेंशियल रूल, पहली गवर्नमेंट है, लोगों को कहीं कहते हैं एक्सपेक्ट है, लेकिन वो कहते हैं डिलीवर नहीं कर पाएंगे जब तक ये यूनियन टेरिटरी है. व्हाट इंडिया अलायंस विल डू टू रेस्टोर दिस?
देखिए, फारूक अब्दुल्ला यहाँ मुख्यमंत्री रहे, उनसे पहले उमर मुख्यमंत्री बन रहे हैं, जरूर है. और क्योंकि जो अधिकार आपके पास होने चाहिए एक लोकतंत्र में, मुख्यमंत्री के पास, वो मुख्यमंत्री के पास नहीं है.
तो ये कहते हैं ये पहला असॉल्ट था जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर जो इंडिया का है, एक स्टेट को यूनियन टेरिटरी बनाया गया है. जब यहाँ राहुल गांधी
Right, Neecha Chaudhary and Mr. Hashmi with us. Neecha Chaudhary, of course, we've seen the India Alliance there since Tuesday. Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav has been in Srinagar. Of course, Supriya Sule of the NCP. We also have Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party, along with the top leaders of the Congress Party, whether it's Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, as well as Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, all being there. And which is what Omar Abdullah has gone on to say, that their presence at the swearing-in ceremony says it all, and that there seems to be no rift in the party.
Yes, I think that is the whole idea, even though the Congress is not going to be part of the government, and that may be part of a strategy, because the Congress is, has to take care of all its interests all over India, may not want to give the impression that it's moving very close to the center, whereas the Omar Abdullah will have to work closely with the center. Even though I must say he had made a distinction between NC versus BJP, different from Srinagar and Delhi working together. So that's a very fine distinction. But anyway, the India Alliance is there in full force to say that there is no rift, and they stand behind Omar Abdullah's government, which is a good thing that's happening. And it's a new beginning being made, and it will take the far-sightedness of both sides, both Omar Abdullah and Raj Bhavan and North Bloc, to not let go of this opportunity, which but comes rarely in the life of a nation, and how to really normalize the situation, keep it peaceful, let the new government deal with the problems, day-to-day problems of the people who were dealing only with bureaucrats, and really so that statehood comes back to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. That is going to be the major objective, as many of the leaders of the India bloc have stated on your channel.
Right, ma'am. Of course, we just heard Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav talk about restoration of statehood in Jammu and Kashmir, and that also Omar Abdullah has been underlining as a key expectation of his government as far as the restoration is concerned. That was revoked after Article 370. That scrapped, that it was scrapped in August of 2019. Mr. Hashmi, take us through the challenges that Omar Abdullah will be facing, given the complexities of the Union territories.
There are lots of challenges that Omar Abdullah is going to face. The biggest challenge is that there's huge regional divide between Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu has largely voted for Bharatiya Janata Party. Out of 34 Hindu MLAs, the 29 are from Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the first challenge that Omar Abdullah will have to take head on. And the second big challenge for Omar Abdullah is to deliver on the promises that he has made. We'll have to see how he will revoke PSC. He has talked about revoking Public Safety Act. He has talked about 200 units of free electricity. That's something which is very difficult given the kind of situation that we are in. 10,000, we buy electricity for around rupees 10,000 crore. Our revenue is just 3,000 crores. So you have to see how you can, deliver on that promise. Besides that, as I said, the biggest issue for Omar Abdullah is you just see the composition of the cabinet. He has he has chosen one member from North Kashmir, one from South Kashmir, one from Rajouri Punj, one from Jammu region, and one from the ST community. That is how he's trying to balance between regional, sub-regional identities. This is how he's trying to ensure that his cabinet looks like representing entire Jammu and Kashmir. The Congress is not part of the government, but Omar Abdullah still has 4 spots to fill. So it will be very interesting to see how Omar fills the rest of the, 3 spots to fill, to ensure that regional and sub-regional balances are maintained. And the biggest challenge, another big challenge for Omar Abdullah would be, since he would not be heading the Home Department, most of the issues related to Jammu and Kashmir have one thing other thing to do with the Home Ministry. So we'll have to see how he deals with that. He has to have a nice working relationship with Bharatiya Janata Party. BJP has 29 members in Jammu. I'm hearing that they're going to be, they are not going to be troublesome for the government. They're going to keep things easy for the government. But we'll have to see how Umar tides over all these challenges that he'll be facing as first Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Already people are saying that he'll be one of the weakest Chief Ministers weakest Chief Minister in the country. But we'll have to see whether that turns out to be true or New Delhi.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hashmi and Neeja Chaudhary for joining us. We will continue our discussion on the other side of this very short break.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet.
Visuals on your screen, live visuals coming in of Omar Abdullah, who is set to take oath as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. In attendance is the Congress party with Mallikarjun Kharge, as well as Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, as well as Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav there as well. And it is Omar Abdullah who has gone on to say that, all is well as far as the party is concerned, given the fact that the National Conference that has dominated the September-October Jammu and Kashmir election, winning 42 of 90 seats, while the Congress that was expected to do well won only 6 seats. And the Congress has decided to sit out as far as the cabinet formation is concerned. The Congress will not be part of the new Jammu and Kashmir government, despite having allied with Omar Abdullah's National Conference. The sources have told NDTV that the Congress so far has declined the offer of one ministerial berth in the incoming government, will be offering support only from the outside. But it is Omar Abdullah who's gone on to say that all is well and they're in talks with the Congress party, which is why all the Congress leaders are there in attendance as far as the swearing-in ceremony is concerned. So Omar Abdullah saying that they are in talks and not all 9 vacancies are going to be filled. Some are open as talks continue with the Congress party. There you can see Akhilesh Yadav, who was there since yesterday, meeting with Farooq Abdullah there. Of course, all of them, you know, the India Alliance, they're in full attendance, lending their support as far as Omar Abdullah is concerned. And Omar Abdullah is being sworn in, just the ceremony that's about to take place some minutes from now. There is Omar Abdullah on stage, ready to be sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. And joining us now is Nazir from Srinagar. Nazir, just take us through who all are there in attendance for the swearing-in ceremony.
While Omar Abdullah has started taking oath as the Lieutenant Governor, Manoj has taken oath of office. The oath taking is underway of Chief Minister Omar Abdullah. So this is a new beginning in Jammu and Kashmir. New beginning in Jammu and Kashmir. After a gap of almost 10 years, we saw the first assembly election, and then the constitution change in Jammu and Kashmir, and we have seen abrogation of Article 370 and Jammu and Kashmir divided into 2 union territories. And now, after a gap of more than 6.5 years, Jammu and Kashmir remain under center rule, and finally we have a government in place. So Omar Abdullah has taken oath of office as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, and second in the seat after Omar Abdullah will take oath is Surinder Chaudhary. He is from Naushera Rajouri, MLA Naushera Rajouri. He has defeated BJP's Ravindra Rana, BJP state president. He will be the second. You can see the kind of seniority. First right list of Omar Abdullah has completed his oath, is going back to his seat. Now it will be this Surinder Chaudhary. Then you have on the seat waiting to take oath is Sakina Yatu. Then you have Javed Rana, and then you have Javed Dar, and then you have Sati Sharma. Now Surinder Chaudhary, National Conference MLA from Naushera and Rajouri, is taking oath as the minister in So there would be total 5 ministers in the government of the cabinet. So it would be the 6th member. Around 6 chairs, and all those people who are taking oath today are sitting there in the dais as J&K Lieutenant Governor is giving.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. That I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.